Well, hello there. Hello, and welcome to the Dev Q&A for Nomad's Elegy. I'm in my comfort zone today. We're talking about story. I've got some lovely gentlemen on the sofa. Please introduce yourself. Yeah, you are. Trust me, you are.
Who's going, me?
Yeah, we're going.
We're still going this way? All right, then why not? Okay, so I'm Mod Ashes. I'm a technical content developer.
Yeah, I'm Mod Wilson. I'm a senior content developer.
Mod Raven, lead content developer.
Mod Kelpie, sitting further away from you this week.
There are three people between us.
Yes.
Love.
If you come any closer, my lawyer will be in touch.
Really? People will Photoshop it anyway.
He won't be the only thing in touch.
Oh dear, oh dear. Love has hit an obstacle there. That obstacle is 3 men. Okay, so we're going to be talking about various things. We're going to start off with a bit of God's scoreboard. Got a little straw poll, and then we're going to start getting into Nomad's Elegy, which you've probably figured out by now is coming out next week. You guys okay with that? Are you
Spoilers? Spoilers? God.
But obviously it's ready. You're bug fixing at the moment, just kind of tweaking.
Yep, just a few last minute things, just minor issues.
And then we'll
probably.
birth it next week.
Then we'll give birth to it next week.
And then we're going to talk a little bit kind of broadly about Salisco's endgame, why you should be, interested, on board, as it were. And then a bit of quick fire, because obviously we want to see just how bored
Audio issues?
Mod Kelpie can be before the end.
Saying sync audio.
We may be having some audio issues. If you can hear me now, I do apologise.
I think it's just not synced. So,
Out.
Brutal.
Exactly.
Okay, so just and also we note that at 9 o'clock game time, Mod Shawnee will be in game and streaming, so do watch it. But first of all, the God Scoreboard. So who wants to kind of explain what it is, really?
Well, it's Sasuke's scoreboard for his own little God Wars and, of course, his own amusement.
Yeah.
It's been placed in the Grand Exchange, and you can go along and take a look at that. And you can also get his masterpieces, the Siskellian.
Sliskellian piece. Whose pun was that?
Skillian.
I think
it was all, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty good.
It kind of came round and we just went, yes,
we went round
that
a
needs
bunch
to be
of
done.
things, and then we. Oh no, it was Timbo's.
Okay.
It was
Was it?
Timbo's, I think.
Timbo, Killer of Trees and Master of Buns. But yes, this case smashed this into the Grand Exchange.
You can get hold of those, and when you've got a stack of 50, you can exchange it for a lamp and a teleport to the Grand Exchange to take a look at the scoreboard.
So this is just kind of to keep a passive kind of the Sliske's endgame is happening
Keep
in
it
the
in your
background of your
mind.
mind as you're going about the
exactly,
game, just throughout the year, and then we remove it at the end of the year. Is that right? Cool. Okay, so we had a number of questions from you because obviously mostly focused around the interface and the scores that were on that interface. So there's a league table that Sliske has pulled together. So many questions about why people had certain scores. So we'll kind of go into a little bit of detail if we can. Lucas has asked, how will player actions affect the scoreboard? Do we collect points by skilling and killing, say, for example, in the scoreboard kind of gameplay?
No, it's not. That's not how you do the points. It's a scoreboard for Sliske's endgame.
Yeah.
Which means it's based on Sliske's scoring system. So it's not, I've killed X Slayer targets. It's how many gods have died or how many. He's tweaked it because people aren't being murderous enough. There was a disturbing sudden surge of reason, and so he's also encountered times that gods are beaten by other gods. So that's how you get it. So beat gods or murder gods, and that's how you get your points.
Gotcha. So we kind of subtly tweaked it to beat as well, which gives it more of a movement on the board. I think Kelpie is smiling. Kelpie is smiling. Don't worry. Thank you guys on the feed. He's
staring
Keep an
lovingly into your eyes.
kind of a death smile. I don't know if that's possible, but he's achieved it.
That's totally possible.
It is totally possible. Will the scoreboard update when players complete quests, or is it just kind of static? Is that it? What's on the board now is...
Yes. If quests or any other content affects the end game, so gods lose, gods die, it'll be reflected in the scoreboard.
That's it. So all of these kind of quest beats that we've been talking about in the year, maybe even Nomad's Energy.
We're saying nothing.
You were saying nothing. Could affect.
You'll have to find out for yourself.
Yeah, we don't want to get locked in the server room again. I'm surprised you didn't actually wear the mask for this.
It's a good point.
Yeah.
No, I should have gone and got it. But,
Oh well.
I've got a balloon instead.
Yeah, spoiler balloon.
Spoiler balloon. There you go.
Yeah.
Obviously, Sliske wanted more death to happen. Are we being merciless with the gods that we are killing this year? Is it just going to be update after update with kind of chopping off the heads of gods?
I'm not quite sure it'll be that level of carnage, but there should be some movement.
There's some
on the
ramp, isn't
scoreboard.
there? It's
Yeah.
certainly a feeling of momentum, a bit of
Yeah.
a build.
I'm not sure we'll just push every god into a blender, as tempting as that would be.
God smoothie. I'm sure Ernie is sitting there just loving that.
Little sprinkles.
Well, after they die, they turn into a statue, so
Yeah.
that I've wrecked the blades quite
That's
quickly.
true.
Can we please get the player's choice in Dishonour Among Thieves recognised on Celeste's scoreboard? So Hellring's been talking to you about this a
Yes,
little bit on
and
your
well,
Twitter.
this is one of the key points, which is the Sliske scoreboard was made by Sliske. So he's of course not going to account a victory you effectively had against him. So no, that's not going to be.
But it's not the case that Sliske's number one will be at the end of the year, so Sliske's won the Stone of Jazz. It's not that simple.
Oh no, it's not that simple. It's never that simple.
Sliske at the end of the game.
Sliske's a big game player.
yeah.
He's
Twisting and turning.
That's one of the
at
things to
every
take
moment.
from the scoreboard is to look at it. And there are loads of people that are brought up, but why isn't this and why isn't that and why isn't this? It's like, yes, we did think all of this through. It might be that there's a reason that his rules seem a bit chaotic.
yeah, we've kind of left some off.
Yep, and
yeah.
tweaked some of the current ones.
But the
It's all
majority of the
deliberate.
scores, I mean, it still is applicable. We don't want this to be a complete.
No,
free
it's,
fall,
yeah.
but
so
it's-
it counts, but you can see kind of the mindset behind it, or the madness, really.
Yeah, there are rules. They just might not make sense until they're revealed.
Yeah,
I think this has been both specific and vague.
Yep.
I like it.
the best way.
Axel, how does Sliske already have 5 points and what constitutes a win? So it's more about the constituting a win when you're determining the scores, I guess, because we've answered the first part.
Yeah.
Death of
so,
a god.
Well, Death of a God
essentially,
is
or-
a kill, which
Yeah.
is worth 3 points. A win is worth only 1 point, but that's when you win a significant victory over another god.
Right. And why does Virago have the godless symbol next to his name? That's from Oradolf. He's not aligned with them.
He was aligned with them at the time.
I do remember writing, actually, a piece of content that after Tusker event, if you went to see Virago or fight Virago, then there'd be a little visit from Sliske. That was kind of a little piece of temporary content. So he has already...
He's been invited.
Yeah, he's already been invited. Or she, or whatever Virago is.
Virago,
Yeah.
whatever.
Free content. Can you still go see that?
That is a really good question
That you don't know?
that I don't know the answer to. I wish Mod Ollie was here. Ask God Ollie.
Yeah, that's
He
Or
will-
just
Surely
go
Head of
speak
Ninja
to
should know
Virago.
this.
or go speak to
if,
Virago after Tusker.
Yeah,
Yeah.
find
I
out.
think you have to have some. I think you have to be able to view the Shadow Realm to see it as well. I remember that.
Okay.
That
Yeah.
might be horribly wrong, but I think it's true.
Take on some bacon, maybe some chocolate.
Yeah.
Spin on the
And
spot.
Look for the ravens. There are 13 hidden around.
Yes.
The Ahu says, yes, I saw Slisky there 4 days ago.
There you go.
4 days ago, so it is still there. Thank you very much, people on the feed. You've helped us in our lack of knowledge.
Yeah, getting this is one of the things that you need to unlock that all-important Barrow's fishing rod.
Barry's fishing rod.
I have a request from Pseudobash, which is just to go. I'm the reason your 15th anniversary balloon deflated.
You kind of. Oh, I don't really know what's going on here. He's been doing a lot. You've been doing a lot of Stephen King it impressions before.
Well, mostly just kind of going.
It's kind of creeped us out.
Yeah.
I don't know how you got one of those balloons as well.
Someone
It's-
gave it to me.
Yeah, quite impressive.
It's probably a bad idea.
Of course.
There may be a body behind this.
That
Oh
counts
yes,
as
they
giving
gave it to me.
That's enough of the scoreboard, I think. I mean, a lot of you have kind of tuned in for Nomad's Elegy, which is obviously big and upcoming. You don't actually know what's in it, so you probably want more information on that. But before we do, just want to get kind of a sense of who you'd want to win the Sliske's endgame. So we put together a straw poll. All the usual people on it, all the people you'd expect from the scoreboard, plus one addition. So get voting. I really want to know which of the gods you feel could or should win that. Do you guys have a preference?
Is
who
the
wins?
addition the Kendall?
Have we specifically said the Kendall is a god? I think you
Spoiler.
want it to be.
Well,
don't you?
You do.
after we do the character rework, which is coming out, the quest with him and the Black Knight Titan together,
Yeah.
with their new graphics and the rest of it, then yeah, it's
Not
definitely
sure
confirmed.
if serious.
I lie like a rug. sometimes.
So it's your usual suspects: your Armadillos, Brassicas, Florins, Marimbos. So just tell us who you think should win or will win, and that give us an idea of just who you're going to pick. I'm looking at the wrong camera again. Hello.
Someone really just put Where's Guthix on that.
Where's Guthix? Guthix. The other guys have got a bit of a head start in being alive.
yeah.
Spoiler.
I think is that a spoiler still?
Well, you might not have.
Might be
actually
new
played
to
that
RuneScape. You
quest.
never know.
This is, yeah.
You
I
might
think
be,
this is
but
also
the
quite
new
exciting.
story is yeah. Not
Cheers,
getting
Tim
into this
Curry.
again.
Okay, so on to Nomad's Elegy. Just a note, after a few questions, we're going to be hopping over to the computers to show you some of it. We have the lovely Modlium to show us a new Zanuck model. Oh, there was a little tempting
That
trailer
really
of
was like
Modlium.
a teaser trailer.
It was a subliminal Liam. You all now want to grow your hair long and get a beard.
That's sound advice.
Okay, so Nomad's Elegy questions. Just go through a few. Meet Dave. Why is Zanuck involved in the quest? She seems like filler to me, so brutal there. Filling on to the question, will she appear for players who have both killed her and kept her alive?
So Zanuck's in it with a number of other characters because I did a quick poll amongst a few players to see what the general kind of character they wanted to see back was, and she was one of the most popular. And she's also a character we like to use and we like to write for, so it seemed good to put her in
QA
there.
disagree with that.
Is it the number of places she's shown, or
Yeah, I
is it?
think the old Zanuck quests have been a bit of a nightmare, and it's always been
appearing
something
when she
that
shouldn't
people have been able to get her out where she's not meant to be and such.
Yeah.
Well, we as we devs like her. And in answer to the second question, well, you'll see, but yeah, she was always dying in the Mighty Fold. She was always on her way out.
Is there dialogue in the game currently to show the path which was taken?
There's
Yeah. Part of the
She
quest
says
had
is-
it.
Yeah.
When she goes dubious, she says that she felt a bit better, but it's not a cure.
Right.
She's still
A bit shoddy.
on her way
A bit
out.
under the weather.
Yeah.
Okay. Chigsy, what kind of quest will it be? Novice, intermediate, master, or grandmaster? Those are your only options.
Not experience.
Nothing in between.
No
nothing
experience.
at all.
Experience wasn't listed. It's master, isn't it?
Yeah, we've gone with it's master with grandmaster requirement. Weirdly.
Oh, right. Okay. So why have you gone for that?
Because a number of players were traditionally not terribly happy with using grandmaster for just based on the requirements. It's got to do with the length and everything. So we're sort of seeing.
Is that because the length isn't as long as grandmaster?
It's a
quite
decent
long.
length, but it's not. We wanted to make it master so that the end game can be the true grandmaster.
Oh, right. Okay. So you want to build to that grandmaster. I mean, just to give people an idea,
daft as that sounds.
it took me 2 hours to complete, but that might be because I'm shoddy.
It took
a little
you
bit
2
rubbish.
hours.
2 hours?
Wow.
Wow.
I
Is
think
that
at
good?
most
Is that bad?
that's
We've
that's
not been
like
anywhere.
most,
We've
but
much
yeah.
faster than that.
Yeah.
but-
Okay. But I am a reader of things, so we shall see.
And we do kind of know how the quest kind of ran.
That is true. Yes, we do know how to get past everything as quickly as possible.
Yeah, but you focused largely on combat and
Well,
scenarios that involve combat.
there's some combat. Not going to lie.
A shipwreck guy will be able to visit the underworld and gloat at all the characters we've previously killed after the quest.
What a
If
charming
only we
person.
had time.
Yeah, we did want to do
Yeah,
stuff
we
like
totally
that.
wanted to do that.
There is some post-quest stuff in there, isn't there?
There's not a great deal of post-quest stuff because
Right.
we've not got a way of going back yet. Purely because we want to focus on the actual core content of the quest.
Yeah.
In future updates, when we might try and push something out with a bit of extra post-quest, but it won't be launching with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, we did want to have the ability to go to the underworld and
Just laughing at Liam, just looking over
Just shaking his
at
head.
Raven, go, no,
What?
no.
you can't stop my tap time.
He can.
You can try. It's true.
Okay. I'd quite like to go over to the straw poll. Should we have a cheeky look? So at the top we have the player with 103 votes and 27%, which I suppose isn't that surprising since players would probably want to be Uber.
Yeah. Who would not want the Stone of Jowls at the end of the day?
Yeah.
I love that Brassica Prime is doing better than Seren and Zamorak.
And Slisko.
and
Slisko. Domin.
Oh, and all
wow.
of them.
Yeah, all of the other gods,
yes.
yeah.
Wow.
We have 2 Marimbo fans in the house. A little shout out to the 2 Marimbo fans there. My word.
quickly
that's
make
really
that
good to know. Because obviously we're trying to factor in a lot of choice with the 6K countdown quests. And so it's good to know what players may or may not pick. Okay, if only 2 people pick Marimbo, for example, we probably shouldn't work on that.
Well, we should. We should give them more
yeah.
of a boost. More of a boost.
Yeah, that's true. Invigorate Marimbo. Kelly BYB, or Kelly Bibe, will player choices during the previous quest, such as the Mighty Fall, be recognised during Nomad's Elegy?
Yes, yeah, definitely. I mean, sort of like as people were asking there about Zanuck, your decision at the end of that quest is there's plenty of dialogue.
So you're plugging in in lots of places.
Exactly.
Some of them are subtler than others.
Yeah.
Certainly, one of your choices in Dishonor Amongst Thieves is not obvious unless you do badly and die.
Yeah. So those players who were worried about the, because obviously from the trailer they couldn't tell whether or not and the scoreboard whether or not Dishonor Amongst Thieves was recognised. Of course, you could have damaged Sliske, could have sided with Zamorak, and that is kind of in there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good. That's grand.
I believe some of the
It's
your allegiance, I think, with
Your
gods,
allegiance
is in
with
there
gods
as well.
is- Okay.
So you've got the emissaries around them.
And we'll do that
Some
more
of those
with
also
the end
comes in
game.
as well.
And do you think updated Zanuck graphics are coming with Nomad's Elegy?
Yes.
That's from
Yes.
Air Alta.
Wow,
Which is
funnily,
a cunning
funnily enough.
segue, I believe, over to Modlium, who's going to show you some stuff.
So yeah, I'm on. Hello. So things I'm going to show you right now are a little bit of the section of the quest where you go and meet Zanuck. This does include Zanuck's nice new head, which hopefully you'll like a bit more than the last one. So let's just go there right now and stop talking. So here she is. Let's zoom in there. As you can see, she's got nice big eyes. She doesn't look quite as, what's the word that we'd use to describe the old one?
Rubbish?
Different.
Rubbish, munched up.
Oh my!
Well, she looked a bit munched up, a bit emaciated.
Definitely got a bigger head than what she had before.
Yeah, yeah.
Definitely. Well, she's had Bandos inside it as well, so it's sort of swollen slightly. Anyway, let's get on.
It looks like My Little Pony.
Talk to you. So,
Away?
just to tell you a little bit about this. So, Zanuck's here. She's kind of stuck in this perpetual torment and hell that Bandos has left her in, and you need to protect her and a few lovely little cave goblins that are hiding inside this tower over here. As
Smooth,
you can
JD.
see,
Smooth.
There's only 10 of them. So this is the first little segment. So it starts off gentle, just to ease you into it, and to be honest, ease me into it. Not the best at combat.
Have you got a shield equipped?
No, I've got a defender equipped though.
Oh, good work.
I know. People
Do you like
don't
those
like
new
my
defenders?
shield.
It's moving up in the world.
I don't understand what the hate for shields is. All that
So they're
free
getting
healing.
past you.
They are getting past me, which I don't
doing
necessarily
badly.
want that to happen. So let's just whack them with that thing, because that kills things dead. Nice bit of corruption blast there. I always forget its name.
Glad you remembered it though. It's good.
I think that's one of them in there.
Yeah, that's one of them there. As you can see, Zanuck, you failed us. And me as well, I guess. Let's just go in there. See, they're just stabbing up some of the tiny little cave goblins. You can see the old style
Fully
cave
voiced
goblins.
cave goblins as they're
Yes.
getting.
Yeah, definitely put audio on for this.
Yeah.
It's definitely worth listening to. The audio guys have done really good with just background audio and
You guys are
colours.
just cruel.
This is definitely a quest for audio.
Yeah, certainly.
So, I won't get too successful at this because we don't want to show you the rest of it, basically, and spoil everything. So we'll just let this guy just go nuts in here. See? So I'll just watch him. I can't help out. That's something we removed.
What do you just what? I mean, I approve heartily of letting them die, but
Well, I could, but, you know, then they'll see the next bit, and I'm not sure I want to do that. Who
Then-
wants me to carry on and kill
And
this
I think you
guy?
should just tell you out then if you don't want to see any more.
That's
Yeah.
a good point. Okay.
You should quit. Quit while you're ahead.
I can't leave it and not kill him, basically. So he either kills the goblins or I kill him. And I think you're right. It'll be quicker for me to just finish this.
Finish him.
Let's just double punch. Ah, there we go. Right.
All of the cries, all of the tears.
Ah, stop it.
Oh, that's a
Stop it.
perfect
what have you
end.
done?
He's not only
exactly
removed
what
the
we
game, he's
needed.
removed his
It's all
face.
fine.
There we go.
Broken everything.
It's all fine.
It's the
What
best way to get out of a level ever.
I did nothing. What, tally to Lumbridge?
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. So there
There
we
we
go.
go.
There's the Bandos Afterlife and Zanuck's new head.
I'm sure that's a highlight for you, Zanuck's new head. And a little something that we all do, which is whenever we get in trouble in game.
That is the Undertaker.
This is the degree he cares.
Organising stuff.
Brilliant. All right, so the next questions are going to be to Kelpie. Saren, why didn't you have Sliske be a part of Zaros like Elened is to Saren?
What?
Okay. Max says where one. What will the requirements be? Skills and quests.
Perhaps we can put these questions to the relevant question marks.
Yeah,
We may have just
I thought that you were going to go sort of like question for Kelpie there. Do you really love me? Then why do you keep pushing me away?
I'm blushing now. Okay, so to do these seriously, Slain from 0% to 500% in Rage Araxi. How difficult is the new Nomad?
Ooh. That's a tricky one.
We're kind of hoping halfway to the upper.
Halfway to the upper.
Yeah,
So
so,
it's-
like 250
Yeah.
upwards,
It's
depending
tougher
on.
than before,
yeah.
but we've got a system in it that will reduce the rage of failure a bit.
yeah.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
there are safety nets for people who are repeatedly
Safety
failing.
nets is
Yeah.
it's not necessarily the right way term,
Okay.
but you need to
Checkpoints for
Is
if
better.
you
Oh,
keep on
checkpoints.
getting
Yeah.
bashed down.
So there are multi-stage battles and we are checkpointing.
Yes.
Correct.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that doesn't reveal too much.
It's
All right, we'll leave it.
We'll leave it
Leave
there.
it down. Okay. So you're saying roughly what 275 in Rage Araxi?
We're
Close to
hoping
close to
for
300.
300.
Close
Yeah.
300. There we go. You heard it here first. As an elevator pitch for you. So, Zaran, why didn't you have Sliske be a part of Zaros like Elened is to Seren?
Because he's
No, no,
he's
that's,
not. He's
yeah.
he's a Majra. He's established. We know what. Oh,
So that's a no.
it's
That's like
basically
saying,
no.
sort of like, why isn't Max a part of Guthix?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that would devalue Sliske as well.
Yeah.
I think that Sliske's his home man. What would the requirements be? So this is obviously really useful for people to know to get ready for Elegy.
Well, we've already released that little teaser
Little
on
teasers,
through,
weren't we?
Yeah.
was it through
Yeah.
Twitter?
So
or
we had
I
a
think the
Twitter,
behind the scenes
yeah.
also did it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, that's coming out later. Let's see, it's 75 mining, woodcutting, and construction. Quest-wise, it's Heart of Stone,
Nomad's Requiem.
Nomad's Requiem,
Dishonor Among Thieves.
Dishonor Among
Dishonor
Thieves. Then it's
Throne of
Miscellania,
Mighty Fall and
the Mighty
Void
Fall.
Stairs Back.
Void Stairs Back.
Hopefully that's not clear as mud. That's plus there's also two recommended.
Yeah, recommended on there.
Yeah, is that Ritual and One Wakes?
No,
So,
it's Blood
I
Runs.
thought-
Blood
Deep.
Runs Deep is recommended,
Yeah,
and
I thought World Wakes was on there.
World Wakes. Yeah.
yeah. So those are, if you want to get the most of, so
Yeah.
there's no additional story content, but you just understand more.
Yeah, there are some spoilers within the quest for stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. The Ahu has asked, will Nomad be a friend or foe in the new quest?
Very much foe.
But
Tell
it's
him right now
important-
you're fighting him, so that kind of
So
gives it away.
The mother of all foes.
Unless it's one of those wrestling fights that you have with Kelpie.
In beans.
I'm pushing this slash as hard as I can.
It's horrible. Nobody needs this. But one of the important things to note is that you're actually trying to give more, round out the character of Nomad a bit more.
Yes.
So rather than being a one-note villain, I think that
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're trying to. So Nomad is an antagonist. He is a villain. If you go back to Nomad's Requiem, which we replayed, look at it. He is definitely a villain. His anti-hero stuff comes from, oh, you've doomed the world and taking on his master. But it's still like you're still like, basically devouring souls. This isn't a good guy.
But we've given him a little
We've
edge
given
of
him a
grey.
bit more of an edge.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. Will the imp from Nomad's Requiem, Zimbafizz, have any part in Nomad's Elegy?
Yes, he's
He
actually
has
got
bits and
quite
pieces.
he's got like quite
Significant
an important
part.
Yeah.
He kicks off the quest, in fact.
Yep.
Yeah.
Marvellous. Will the boss fight change how Nomad fights in Dominion Tower? That's from Lucas.
No,
No.
no, he's still as he was.
Oh, this is developing into a quickfire Nomad. Chigsy, will there be complex puzzles?
Strategy.
There's strategy and there's a couple of puzzle
Environment
sections.
puzzles, I guess.
Well,
Yeah.
there's a couple
Yeah.
of puzzle sections that you don't necessarily have to complete like in fully, but you get additional stuff if you do.
Okay.
But
Well,
trying some tricksy things.
Killjoy 50, will it be voiced?
No.
Other than little
Apart
cave
from
goblins.
Apart
the
from-
little
yeah.
goblins.
The
Yeah.
little goblin-
The little
is this
goblin
by any
voice.
chance you guys?
We didn't ask for
No.
this.
No.
We just turned around and it just happened.
Yeah,
Nice.
Yeah.
it was not.
This is
It
our
was not
audio
nice.
team deciding that
Yeah.
they...
But they do have
do
some
little
really
goblin
nice
whelps.
audio playing
There's some-
throughout the entirety of it. So if you do get a chance to listen to it,
Definitely
please
worth
do.
having a
It's
sound on.
really nice.
Okay. Will this quest have anything invention related, rewards or otherwise?
Yes.
Yeah.
Me, Dave, any sneak peek on the rewards for this quest? Is there anything you can say? Anything you want to say?
We talk about it in
XP.
in the behind the scenes, and that comes out Friday. So
Yeah.
people can find out about there. Obviously, there's XP.
Do you want to just drop one in a little bit? A little hint?
Invention stuff.
Yeah.
stuff, which we answered in the last question. Brilliant. All right, so Nomad's Elegy, we'd like to show you a bit more. We've got Mod Liam, who's going to show us a battering ram.
Show you a battery. Good times. Right, let's just kick this one off. So again, this is the first stage of a sort of larger. Oh God, let's just spam
My
through
beautiful
this.
dialogue.
See, this
Click
is
out
why
of
it
it.
takes less than
All
2
the
hours.
characters, all the characters.
There we go. I forgot you can click out. There we go. So let's run. So basically, this is the beginning of a siege. Naturally,
So it's
you've
not
got
going to
a
give
battering
spoilers
ram.
away for characters, just out of curiosity.
What
Nah.
have you done? Because this isn't the beginning of the siege.
He clicked out.
Yeah, you broke it.
I broke it. How could I possibly break
Click
it?
the war table.
Click the war table.
Yeah, I'm clicking.
So
the
don't
wall
click
table.
out of dialogue.
I told you.
Spacebar.
Just hold spacebar. Skip through all my beautiful dialogue, you monster.
This is how I play all the
Spoiler
quests.
key scene of the quest.
You don't even look at the screen while you're doing it.
This is how you do quests, right?
You're a terrible
There's the
person.
battering ram.
Yeah.
Okay,
Terrible
cool.
person.
Total
lovely.
spoilers for characters as well.
Is that text always there?
It's not always there. It's there for just long enough until you can figure out what you're doing. But basically, here's a lovely battering ram.
It's quite literally a battering ram, isn't it?
Yep.
It's,
Yeah.
Well, what were you
Yeah.
expecting?
it's not
You
like
said a battering
it's not a
ram.
male
That's what
sheep
you're expecting.
that we're sending up the bridge. That would be weird. So yeah, as you can see, it will slowly trundle along. You've got your little squad of misfits here, all of them dead, except Death, who is Death, and Icthrin, who's a god.
Of death.
Of death. It's all very emo, this bit. So yeah, we head on up the bridge. Oh, don't leave that. So I'm here to show off the battering ram, and I'm just running ahead. Just eager for the fighting, really. So yeah, as you can see, he trundles along at your... Oh, and look at this.
Nomad monologue.
Nomad monologuing heavily.
Yeah.
All
If
them
any of you don't want
spoilers.
spoilers, look away now.
Yeah, thinking about it. This is a spoilerific part of
Yeah.
the quest.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, let's just...
Leave, run away.
Leave,
quick.
please, stop it.
They've seen what they need to. Kill the screen.
Thinking about it.
Yeah.
Was that an eject? Have we just...
Pretty
I think
much.
we eject.
So there we go. So Liam has decided it's too spoilerific. But I think the important thing to note there, you saw the kind of interface of the 2x3 characters. It's a case of you're using a squad. They each have their
Yep.
own abilities.
They each do their own thing. They each have their own sort of way of engaging in combat. You can tell them where to go. They'll each sort of look at. They'll keep an eye on people nearby and try and murder the Ascension people as they come across.
Yeah.
Spoiler. Yeah, they each do their own thing, using them correctly. Not necessarily so much in that stage, which is a bit tutorial, but there's a second stage which is a bit more frantic.
It ramps up in the second stage. So we haven't revealed everything for those of you who are worried that this is a large chunk of the quest, because this is almost
No,
the
it's-
tutorial section.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that kind of
It-
falls back
it's
to
also
the
kind of like-
strategic bit.
Yeah.
Of
Yeah,
the, whole
the strategic
thing.
puzzles as
Yeah.
opposed to, as opposed to sort of like environment puzzles.
Yeah, yeah. And so it's all about using the abilities of those individual characters. One might do, vast AoE damage or something. I don't want to give it away. And so you need to put them in places where there are lots of enemies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sort of level of strategy, really.
Icthrin and Death are awesome.
Right.
Yeah. No surprise that Icthrin and Death are probably the better of the bunch.
Yup.
Okay. Zvaras, sorry if I've got that wrong, RS. Will the identity of Nomad's master be revealed for real this time?
For reals.
For reals.
No.
Not in this quest.
So what we did is we put together a short story
Yeah.
for Nomad that actually goes into a little bit more detail here. Our ideal is to launch that at some point after
Oh, right, okay.
Nomad's Elegy. Unfortunately, we didn't quite get it in a right shape for launch. But for those of you, what's really nice is it makes it satisfying, because a lot of people weren't satisfied with the answers that came from Dishonour Among Thieves about the Master. A lot of people thought it had to be Lucian. And so we're going to put together a lore and histories that goes into that. Okay, Sliskay's Endgame. So this is just one part of 4 quests that are coming out this year, that culminate in the Endgame at the end of the year, which I believe you guys also have.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
You're making 3 of the 4, aren't you?
We are.
yeah.
Yes.
Nomad's Elegy is the first one, and then we've got
Ballad of the
couple of
Barrows
others
Brothers.
after that.
Yeah, so we announced that it was called Ballad of the Barrows Brothers, but it's taken a left turn.
It might not still be called Ballad of the Barrows
No.
Brothers.
Well,
Yeah.
almost definitely not.
The
Oh, yeah.
placeholder title is Ballad of the Barrows Brothers.
Because we've had brainstorms we're really excited about.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a different storyline than we were
Oh
originally
yeah,
going, but
yeah.
it's
It's
lovely.
yeah.
But you guys, so you
Should be
guys
good.
have Nomad's Elegy, you have
Yep.
Ballad of the Barrows Brothers, and you have Sliske's Endgame.
Yep.
The Guardians have Fate of the Gods 2,
Yep.
but also they've got the Vampires, and the Watcher kind of
Messing
combat
around
heavy,
with-
Combat heavy.
playing around with bosses,
Playing around.
it seems, this year. But you're excited about those quests, you've got plans for it. What's nice is you've got the Endgame, you can constantly plug into it, all of the choices, you know where to,
Yep.
to plug into those. But talking about the Endgame, important question first. Guthic, can we get an Azanadra bobblehead, Pat, as a reward from some of the Endgame quests, please?
It's an idea.
Maybe.
It's
We'll
an
stick it
idea.
on the list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A very, very long list of bobblehead ideas.
Well, one of the things we've done is that the Madrak content, whenever there's been a piece of Madrak content or Madrak focus, we've released a bobblehead. So like Dimension of Disaster was focused around Zemmer Eagle, so Zemmer Eagle bobblehead came out with that. And so there's a few that they're waiting for. You've probably noticed that you haven't had a Sliske. That might be something that gets slapped onto a core aims for a quest soon with you guys. But
As always, though, it's
Yay.
time.
Yeah.
It's time. as
I'll
always.
do it for you.
Anything's
You'll be surprised how easy it is.
Anything's possible with time and resources. We just need to have them both.
Yeah, of course. All right, that drats. Now that the endgame is truly starting for Sliske, will we begin to see other gods who have not appeared in-game as of yet showing up? Like,
Maybe.
I know
Depends on the gods.
You've wanted one for a long
who
time.
you want.
Yes, yeah, sort of like almost 10, well, over 10 years now.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it. You've been prepping and moulding this god to be
Oh,
added.
yes.
You got your Kendall.
Yeah.
Just yes.
Yeah.
We have got some questions for you, Kelpie. Don't worry.
I think it's more the case that the end game is going to happen. Then, if any gods, I mean, we're not going to just be gods are not just going to pop up.
Yeah.
To suddenly jump into the end game.
I think that would devalue the competition if
Yeah.
we started introducing
Yeah.
chaff gods to be just kind of
Throwaways.
decapitated and then added to the scoreboard.
They'd need to appear meaningful. Yeah.
But equally, also after the end game, the god storylines haven't finished.
Oh, no.
It's the storyline of the Disband of Jazz. It's the storyline of Sliske,
Unless they're dead.
unless they're dead, of course.
Yeah,
which
unless they're dead. Yeah.
I'm sure there'll be some death at some point this year. Can we expect that once you wrap this up, you return to older, unfinished storylines? Maybe even next year? So that's from 5X.
Sounds like a
Like
question
the
for you,
pirate
does it not?
storyline.
That's definitely
I
one
think-
for you there.
Yeah.
Thank you. In the last year, like we've been doing the vampires.
Yeah.
So we did the vampire quest last year. We kind of realised, hey, it's going to be a lot easier if we capitalise now on all the graphics and such we made on it and finish it off. So I don't see why kind of next year we'll, once we're done with vampires, it's the next storyline we look at.
Yeah.
Could be pirates,
Yeah.
could be
Who,
penguins.
who would be next on the
gnomes.
radar?
Penguins.
It's got to be penguins.
So yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, we can't tell what's going to happen next year yet, only because of, we've got a survey to do to the
Yeah,
players.
yeah.
There's so many factors that
We'll
plug
be
in.
definitely involving the players in on that stuff.
Yeah.
And say we just did one older storyline, then we'll probably let the players choose.
Yeah. But a significant part of the Sixth Age, this kind of Stone of Jazz storyline, is ending this year. That does leave a little bit more wiggle room.
Yeah.
But we have got, Gower Quest this year. We've got vampires. There will be stories we don't necessarily or haven't talked about or don't know yet that may crop up. Will we see any deceased gods reborn? Asked J-Dog of RS.
No.
Gothics
They're
isn't
dead.
coming back.
Guthix is not coming back.
Gothics is dead. So is V. Nah, 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 nah.
That's horrible, guys. Please, these are our friends. But it's the heroes argument, isn't it?
Yeah.
While we all loved the TV show Heroes, they kept bringing people back, and it just devalues the sense of death and
Yeah.
finality.
I mean, it's the whole death of Superman
Yeah.
then coming back, and
Yeah,
it's-
comics have got themselves in this rut for so long now.
If death is so easily undone, it's meaningless.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. That's not to say that we haven't done a Return from Death.
There's
in the
return
past.
from death, but bringing the gods back
Completely.
would
is,
be
yeah.
that, because that's a momentous occasion. If we were to turn a god, it means, well, they can all come back, so it's pointless.
Which is part of the reason
Yes.
we moved to the whole kind of let's make them into a stick of rock kind of
Yeah.
thing whenever they die. It's a real underlining that they're not coming back. Which team is working on other Sliske endgame quests? We've talked about Air Altar. So largely you are the endgame and countdown. Enjoy, guys. Net Knifen, would the endgame usher Gillinor into the 7th age?
I don't believe so.
No.
No.
I don't think it's going to
I don't
change.
I
the
think it
game.
gets comical.
We're asking here, but we might just want to throw it back this way as well.
I think it's far too like that would be
Yeah.
6 would be so short if that
It would
was
be
it.
Yeah.
good. You're absolutely right. And what I'd really like is that if we built up all of these kind of great quests, and you know that is our timeline now. It's not that we've got kind of 3, 4, 5 different timelines. It's already stretched thin as it is with the 5th age and the 6th
Well,
age.
when
Yeah, it's a
RuneScape
little
has moved to
messy.
Oculus Rift and like
HoloLens,
hologram
maybe.
table, then yeah,
Okay,
So 15, 20 years.
yeah, about that, yeah,
all right, 3D RuneScape will be in the 7th age.
yes, confirmed.
Will we learn about Sliske's motives for the end game in the upcoming Barrows Brothers quest, our Sam 6666? That's a lot of sixes. Spoilers.
Spoilers.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Maybe not.
Can
Who
I just say, I mean,
knows?
it's going to progress the story.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
a lot.
Oh yeah,
I'm allowed to say that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to
Yeah.
progress things. You're going to learn a lot more, possibly about Sliske, what his ultimate motives are. Probably not, because he's still going to be playing his cards close to his chest.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, it's not like we're going to be treading water through that quest,
Yeah.
waiting for the end.
A number of you had criticisms that we weren't necessarily kind of moving the storyline forward as quick as they expected with the gods. I think it's safe to say that each of the quests this year that they're doing that.
Yeah.
They're taking every opportunity to. Will choices made in the 3 quests leading up to the end game limit who can win? That's from Armadin.
They'll affect the
Yeah,
how
it's
it
a
plays
strange
out.
phrasing,
I
isn't it?
don't know about necessarily limit who can win,
Yeah.
but it will certainly have an effect on the end.
Yeah.
yeah.
Without
I
giving
mean,
too much
if
away.
somebody dies, that will obviously limit the number of people who can win because they're the only people who can take part in the end game. But yeah,
There's going to be a cut-off that Sliske
Yeah.
will determine. Some questions from the chat, so please do keep sending them in as well to hashtag RSDevQA. That will make sure that they pop up on my tablet. Dragon Dwur, how many points are needed to get into the end game?
It's not really that sort of scoreboard, to be honest.
yeah,
It's
if
not
you're
like-
on, if you've got an
essentially-
invitation, you get in,
Yeah.
regardless
If
of what your
you're-
score is. So
If
if
you're on the
theoretically,
scoreboard, you're in the end game.
Sliske is essentially showing
Yeah.
what has already happened, and he's
Yeah.
determining like a score based on what has happened.
It's not like getting into
Yeah.
the Champions League next season. You've got to finish top 4. It's just
yeah. Like
You're
the
on the
person
table,
at the bottom
you're
of the table could win the whole thing if they're like they could have done very badly all the way through all of the stuff and then just be good enough in combat to take out the other guys
I mean,
or whatever sort of like end game stuff.
the
happens.
score does give them a very definite advantage.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
going to say. I mean,
That's the worth. It gives them. If the person in the
I want
lead
to pull
has
back a little bit
huge
from this.
advantage.
Yeah. So,
oh, no,
so the scoreboard. So it's not.
spoilers.
You're absolutely right. It's not like the Champions League. It's not like we're going to say that the top 4 are.
Yeah.
But we have made it so that certain gods are going to appear in the end game, certain gods aren't. That's going to be based on player choice. And the score is going to play a huge factor in that. A huge factor.
Yep.
And that's all we're going to put it. We don't know what that arbitrary kind of line is that Sliske's going to draw, but he will draw one. I'm sorry, I
This
didn't mean
is brilliant. I like watching you squirm on these questions.
I am a worm. Will we ever see anything done with the Ascension Gothics in the Ascension dungeon? No.
Who knows?
Probably
No.
not.
Probably not. This is just this giant smoking gun in a dungeon. It's like you want to use it, but nobody's going to use it. It's just going to sit
If
there
we
forever.
can, I mean, I can't think of any way we could get it into the end game stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah.
If you've got any
maybe
ideas
team
for
or
how that
something like
Gothics could be used, do send them to us. Will we get the possibility to let Sliske win Sliske's endgame, much to his own disappointment? I really like that as a twist ending. I think that's really good. A sad, disappointed winner
Give
of his
him
own
the stern of
competition.
jazz. Well done. You've won your own thing. Oh.
I think we probably got slightly more interesting answers than that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Privacy. What quests do you recommend people completing for Sliske's countdown? So all of them.
Yeah. I was going to say everything.
Definitely.
Oh, really?
Everything ever.
Well, I mean, the important bit is all the quests that we're releasing this
Oh,
year
yeah,
will be
yeah,
a
yeah.
requirement for the end game.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, not all the quests we're releasing this year. All 4 of the quests.
Yeah.
The 4 leading up
3 leading up to the 4th.
The
I'm
4th.
doing so well. But there are also the ones that lead up to Nomad's Elegy.
Everything. You'll need to do miss and presume death. So lots
There's
of
a lot
progress on from that.
lot
Yeah.
of quests that you
Basically,
advise to as
do
well.
everything.
And
Yeah.
Fate of the Gods.
Yeah.
Fate of the Gods 2 will
At the very
obviously
least,
include Fate of the
having
Gods.
done all of these quests gives you all the rewards, it gives you all of the experience and the rest of it. The higher level you are, obviously, the better you're going to do for.
Yeah.
for
Getting
it.
through
It's probably worth
Yeah.
noting, with all the rambling that we're doing, that we've got all the beats in place. but it's, as soon as the team starts working on it, that's when we start filling in the gaps.
Yeah.
So some of this, we know
Will
a lot of the requirements, and we know a lot of the gods that we want to feature, and we know the endpoints, but some things will change. More questions from you on the Twitch chat. Will there be more Majorat revealed in Slisko's endgame? That's Jamasku. Well, we're going to Frenescae.
That's more for those guys, yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
So that's more for the Guardian. So hopefully you'll be able to chat to those. But we are going to Frenescae. It gives you some idea that Majorat will be a huge focus. Whether that'll be new ones, maybe. We've talked about, if you've picked up a certain storyline, there have been like Chalon Mar and things like that. It could happen. Do you know already who will win the end game? Has asked Maud SRS.
And the answer under it on there is Brassica, obviously.
Going by
Which
our
isn't the
straw
real
poll.
answer. I'm just sort of like going by what's up on there.
I don't think we have yet, have we? It's not.
Well, the end game will be
There's a lot of
largely
player
based
choice.
on player choice.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
a lot of player choice in there. So we really want to have that feeling of my ending of the end game is going
Not
to be
that
different from
multiple
another.
endings isn't at all giving us a headache. Nope.
No,
Yeah.
not at all. Multiple branching narrative.
Yeah.
And just to get you a little bit sweet for Nomad's Elegy coming next week, we've got the creative. So this is what we use on the kind of the website and banners. And there we go. There we have our lovely Nomad. I have actually seen. Have you
lovely
seen
image.
Teascut putting together a Nomad costume?
You mentioned
Yes.
this,
I
but
have
didn't see
not
it.
seen
No,
Yeah.
it's cool.
Yeah,
Really,
so
really
if any
cool.
of you don't follow Teascut, please do that.
Awesome.
And see what he's working on for the next RuneFest. We may have a contender for winner, obviously. That's obviously throwing down the gauntlet to you guys. Beat it.
Can you do better?
Can you do better? All right, so that was Nomad Creative. Go find out Teascut and see what his costume's looking like. And then it's Ninja Quickfire.
I'm going to take my time.
Yeah,
Stretch it out.
Ninja Slow
I mean, I've
Burst.
been sitting here for a little while, so
Okay, so
So when we do the zoom in, can we have like a little heart superimposed around the screen?
I think when we all went back, so we finished our.
We've got T-skirts. If you want.
Oh,
Oh, look, actually,
see
look
these
at
bits. Yeah, go
So
on.
we have Teaskut's costume, so let's show that.
Yeah.
I should possibly have set that up beforehand.
Well done.
There we go, look
Ooh,
at that.
wow.
What I love is that
That's
it's
nice.
superimposed over the vaults of RuneFest, as if he was already there.
Nice.
But that looks beautiful.
Some good detail there.
Yeah, exactly.
You see
And
the arm.
yeah, and chosen the right character as well. It's like he's looked at our year and realised that Nomad may feature quite prominently. Yeah, so after the last live stream, me and Kelpie went back to our desk to find us bottom of Reddit. Oh, sorry, well, on Reddit.
Yeah. One of you was certainly bottom.
yeah, that was fun. Thanks, Legend Arts. Great.
Oh, amazing. It constantly surprises us.
That's not
we just don't know.
circled the office a good couple of times.
Yeah, it's like my dance. I just
Get
did it, and then suddenly it's a thing.
ready to see T-shirts on the RuneScape store.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if a mod Raven and Balloon becomes something else. Ninja Quickfire, or Slow Fire.
Do it.
I would love to be able to give Avatar Warden to non-admins in clans. Could you make this happen?
Yes, I think we could.
Yeah.
I don't know if it how much work it fully requires, but it has something I'm sure we've been discussing already. So I think it's something we'd like to do in the future, at least anyway.
Yeah. Could we see the possibility to rebind keyboard shortcuts for lodestones?
Rebind.
Rebind, or maybe change them, I guess. So kind of personalise them. Like Portstring is P, I believe, but some
Yeah.
people want Privilinus for
I think that's Alt P.
Alt P. Yeah, exactly. So
I'm
people would want to
sure
switch
this
that.
has come up before when we've had our ninja meetings, and for whatever reason we've rejected it. It might be just that we didn't feel like enough players wanted it.
Yeah.
So I can raise it again. I'm pretty sure we. I'm
Might
pretty sure we
also
can do it.
be
If it-
size of variables for storing the specific keybinds, because we've got like
There's a lot of keybinds.
there's a lot already, isn't there,
So-
for everything that you use every day. So
It's one of those
I'll
things
check
that
with the team again.
it'd be really good to get a sense of just how big a problem it is or how much it's wanted. I mean, if genuinely players like it. then-
Yeah, and it depends on the size of how it is. If it's something
Yeah.
that's really quick.
in the worst case, you could always just switch around some of the key bindings to more used lodestones compared, like Prifdillers and Portster, and you just swap them right around.
Yeah,
Sort
potentially.
of thing.
Yeah. Can the amounts of divine energies please be increased to at least 20k every 4 hours in the GE?
Probably. This is one that I'll discuss with Timbo. I'm afraid, usually I know what the questions are before I do the stream, but I've
So you haven't
been out of
prepared
office
questions?
this afternoon. So
You've been looking at your phone.
yeah.
No, it's fine. Sorry, I'm being brutal. But we can look at that with Timbo, get an answer maybe on Twitter.
Yeah. I think we've
And the forums.
we've looked at other stuff recently. I can't remember if we made those changes or not yet. We have such a huge backlog of stuff. It's hard to remember exactly what's gone out and stuff. So I'm sure we can maybe take a look at that as well.
Yeah, I was about to ask
Overlay
if you
upon
could do
overlay.
that. Closer together.
That's beautiful.
Just making it worse. You know it's going to be a gift nowadays, right?
You love it. Oh, there we go.
That's a new one.
It's now become 3. And 2 become 3. I'm sure Spice Girls sang that. Could we... Any chance of a follow cam feature? It'd be a camera angle that would be locked to be facing your back. That's quite a nice idea, actually.
Yeah, I saw it on the forums. I think it was posted in Ninja thing. I think that is one of those ones where it's a case of Ashes
is saying no.
Ashes is shaking his head.
I'm shaking my head because I was the one that did the original camera system for when it came out.
I think you'll find, because they did a little knock-up on YouTube, and I think you'll find that it would be actually quite awful when the amount of times you click somewhere and the character kind of doubles back on itself, and then the camera will shake a lot. I think there's a reason why we haven't done it. It's also another thing. It's one of those things where it's really okay, this one person wants it and it's a fair request and stuff, but I'm not sure it's really that worthwhile. I don't think a lot of people would use it, especially for that movement issue. And do we really? Is it worth our time compared to other Ninja stuff?
Yeah, mechanically it's more for WAS really is to follow cams.
Yeah. Could you give us the ability to sort quest by quest line? Oh my god, this is like a complete bugbear of...
I mean, this is it's something that we've discussed. I know you particularly want it.
Yeah.
Which is just being able to reorder quests a lot better by quest line, by age, and various other ways. I personally we've got all those kind of top level interfaces, and there's a lot of information there and stuff, and I don't think it's all provided the best way. And I personally would like to go through kind of each of those and improve stuff. We've already started talking about some of those.
Yeah.
So quests maybe, but I think there's maybe a few other things that are probably in line first, plus all the other Ninja stuff sort of thing.
I mean, that's the dream, isn't it? I mean, the kind of real good one is the overlay onto the game screen or a child, that interface. So just being able to see my objective at any given point for a quest.
It'd be nice to redo challenge. We're talking about maybe redoing the challenge system and stuff like that, how we present it and things like that.
Just to completely kind of throw you off, I've now got some questions from the chat, so you haven't even read these. Mers RS, friends list been broken for some people for 4 weeks. Is a fix coming?
Yes, there will be.
Do we know how soon? Is it just the case of when it's done, it's done?
I can kind of prod my ninjas and ask for it. Yeah.
Okay, so there'll be ninja proddage. Zimplex, search bar on the quest tab. So that's obviously come from our conversation there.
Yeah, it's
another one that we'd love to have.
It's just another thing.
Yeah. Hot Rod,
Nice. Isn't that your nickname for him?
It's just how we greet each other.
You go Hot Rod and he goes, aha.
Can we fix the minimap to be pointing north at login or have an option to toggle?
This is one I've asked about and I've been given reasons why and I can't even remember. So
essentially the camera upon load reloads itself pretty much every time something minor changes on the server. So apparently on login you get about 5 different sends to the client to say this needs loading, this needs loading, this needs loading. And you can never tell when you've actually logged in for it to then turn, because the next time it'll go, oh wait, no, and by default our camera always faces south.
Yeah.
It's a default thing that it's always facing south to do with lovely maths and games. We always face down what's known as the Z-axis, which is south. And because, the amount of time that it has to rebuild, loads of different things. On the client, you never tell when it's physically stopped and going, right, now you can turn north.
I've always found this fascinating when there's something that seems like it would be so easy to fix.
Yeah, it was something that when I did the camera system, I tried to look at and do, but because of the amount of times that you kept getting a camera going, oh, I need to change, I need to change, I need to change, it's quite hard to judge when is a good time for it to stick north.
Yeah. So in the Great Names competition, we have a new entry with Twitchy Gnome. When can we expect the invention perk and charge drain fixes?
There's a couple of invention batch coming out later this month.
Yep.
So there'll be some invention stuff there. I can't say,
Yeah.
I'm not fully up to date on exactly what's in there. I know we've got all the skilling stuff coming out later this month, I believe.
Yeah.
That particular stuff,
I think it'd be
if
really
it's
good.
stuff they've committed to, then I'm sure it's coming out at that
Yeah.
time. I'm just not fully aware.
I think we
of
may have
what
gone a
they're
little dark
committed
on
to.
invention in the past week. I think it's probably worth kind of getting some more comms to you, just talking to you guys a bit more. So we'll try to do that. I'll go back up and talk
Yeah.
to the guys, just so you can know what changes they're planning, because they are planning changes, certainly to XP. Okay, Godbooks ETA from Lieutenant Shadow.
Later this month, so we're looking at a week or two's time. Actually, we're finishing off this week. It goes to our release team next week, so it'll be released the week after that.
Gotcha.
So a week Monday.
I've now lost entirely.
I want to ask players something. We got books.
Whoa!
Wait a minute.
We got god books, right, and they're all kind of combat related. Would people be interested in skilling god books? So just like the gods who don't have god books, maybe like Braska, Marimbo, Seren,
Or make a
maybe
poll.
doing some skilling stuff. You're going to create a poll? That'd be cool.
So would you like skilling God books?
Skilling god books, yeah. And they will, so like the god books, the new ones they add in, like as you activate them and as you're doing combat, like you'll get some passive effects. Should we do the same with skilling?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
Marimba's one can tie
Sounds
into the
good.
brewing system.
Yeah, Braska farming for
We
Mausoleum,
actually,
you know.
Timbo, I suggested this to the team earlier on, and Timbo came back with a great idea, which is not really so much skilling related, it kind of is. But with Brassica's one, we could bring back random events as you have it active. So just as you're skilling random events in, and you get your chance to get your mystery box.
Yeah, we just
so-
reskin them all
Maze
cabbage
again.
themed.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh my
So-
word!
Oh
Do keep
God,
in
the odd
mind
one out cabbage.
with this poll that obviously it could be the difference between getting content or not getting content. Do try to put it up against other stuff that could have taken its place, and then think about whether or not.
I mean,
it's
like
better.
this isn't a hey, we'll do this and like
Yeah.
we'll prioritize this and it'll be out in a month or so time. It's just a general. Are people interested in this? Okay, then we'll start looking at how do we prioritize this sort of stuff
Yeah.
with other stuff. Probably want to make it as a reward. So I
Wow.
think yes is winning with
They
93%.
seem quite tall. I'm not sure it's obvious yet.
Yeah.
So
Anyway.
it's okay. Players are interested in that. That's great. Now we know they definitely are interested in it. Like we'll start looking at how stuff. Maybe it's an idea for other teams when they're looking at rewards
Yeah.
and for the rest of the year or something like that.
I think it's great. I mean,
See who gets to it
I've
first
always
sort of
looked at
thing.
kind of like old school and their skilling pets and things like that. That notion of bringing skilling into more of the stuff that you traditionally think of for combat
Yeah.
would be great. When will Morven assign spiritual mages? When, Kelpie? Can we have the option? Can we have the option to set broadcast for clan member friends only, please?
No, I don't think we're going to do that because the whole point of broadcast is it's meant to be like, oh, I've achieved something and now it's broadcast to the world.
Yeah.
I feel good for like, yes, I've really achieved it. My
Yeah.
goal. Perhaps there's some of them that aren't, people don't really feel like actual proper achievements that should be broadcast to the world or however it is sort of thing. So maybe we could potentially take a look at them. But I often see people like, when people ask this question, they're like, oh, look at this, spamming my chat. And they got the chat full of, oh, this person achieved 99 or whatever. But there's no dialogue, like they haven't been talking to anyone else in there anyway. So it's like, do these people just like really like to keep a very empty chat box or something like that?
Also, do players know they can turn off the broadcasts?
Can you turn off broadcasts?
You
Well,
can
there
turn
we
off
go.
broadcasts.
I
Yeah.
didn't even know
The little symbol of like the megaphone, you can turn that off, and that will stop all
Well,
broadcasts
there we
being
go.
shown.
That, like my answer doesn't even matter anymore. That goes back into our problem. We have all these things on our
Yeah,
interfaces and
toggle
we're
state.
not properly,
Exactly.
not properly communicated. And
Hypertext or textured. Can you make a hover over our augmented items to show its current weapon XP?
potentially.
I think that's a good one for the Guardians. I don't know when we
I
got
thought that
next
was
got them
discussed
on.
the other week, was it not? When they were down there?
Yeah,
I thought there was something similar. Or was that Timbo saying that potentially was could
Can't
bloat
remember,
up
to
the
be
tooltip
honest.
text?
Yeah, I believe
It's,
that was.
yeah,
I thought I heard
it's-
something about that
Take
the
a
other
look at
week.
it, sort of thing.
Yeah.
I would think. Well, Ninjas are looking to do like probably an invention batch around about April time.
yeah.
we still haven't fully decided exactly what we're doing for that batch.
Well, I think a lot of it's going to come from that release in February.
Yes.
See what players want
Exactly.
or
We're
need.
waiting to see what people say. I'm
Yeah.
kind of at the moment kind of thinking kind of more weapon perks that are kind of more end game, more useful to. This is definitely my best sword for fighting dragons or something.
Yeah.
So it's not a case of like I've got this sword, I'm leveling up to then dismantle it. It's I've got the sword to keep forever. So it's my best thing for this niche thing or something like that.
Getting loads of questions in from the chat. Thank you so much for those. This is the right time to do it. We got a little space. Brick LC, can you switch the default for skill advanced guide to everything rather than milestones?
Yeah, well, I was actually discussing this a day or two ago in a meeting.
Yeah.
We were taking a look at this stuff.
It's tough
and
because
we
of
were
course
like,
new players.
and we're like, yeah, like the milestones, like it doesn't give you the right information really. Like you often click on everything and go everything, okay, because there's so much stuff is just missed.
I'm trying to think of a situation where you want milestones.
5 level gap stuff. So I think that's something we do want to do.
Cool.
Yeah.
We've got some Sliskay's endgame questions to bring you in, just in case you were kind of
left
lapsing in and out. Jiva will in-game time advance from year 1 to year 2 of 6th Age at Sliskay's endgame? So will the calendar move on?
I think technically time moves on as you do the quests. It's just that we don't obviously show a calendar because it would have to be some sort of weird Mobius strip that was folding in on itself and possibly screaming.
Yeah, I mean, this is a problem of an MMO with such a kind of open quest structure as we've got. As soon as you start moving things on in years, and I haven't completed a certain quest, and I've got Anna in a barrel for the best part of 2 years. In Tourist Trap, perhaps, there are so many kind of counter-immersive things that could happen in that situation. I think there's a quest there in itself. I like the idea of it. Why aren't the Dragonkin on the scoreboard? They killed V. I think a lot of people were asking that. So that's from Uriel.
They weren't invited.
Yeah, they weren't invited.
Yeah.
Are they classed as gods?
No.
Oh, you don't,
that's
have,
the thing, is
you
that
don't have to be a god to be
That's very true.
on the scoreboard. Virago and the player
Yeah.
potentially have shown that. Go on, let's have some kind of surprises for you with Sliskay's endgame. We're going to keep things back. We don't want to talk about too much.
One more question.
We've got one more question.
It's not like a massive question.
Like we built up to last week. So the last question to come in, can we get a quest tab similar to how we have a music tab or an emote tab? That's from I'm Rubik.
So I'm not too sure.
I
Like,
think they want the old quest.
oh right, so
the
something that's on your interface,
Is it the
like
single
you
lines?
have up on your interface.
Yeah, like they have a like.
So it'll be
The
old
old
If
school
we
style.
get around to reworking the quest interface, it's something we will consider.
Yeah. Because
I'm not going to start doing little bits for the quest tab now if we're talking about reworking the full thing.
yeah. Unfortunately, I know players won't want to hear this. It's actually quite a large job.
Right.
In terms of obviously
Oh, like the whole
creating
rework.
The whole rework.
Sorry, I
of
thought you
the
meant
quest.
the little thing,
Yeah, for
yeah.
the tab, no.
Yeah.
For a full kind of quest
It
journal
is, yeah.
rework. And the quest journal isn't broken up in such a way that we could have it overlaid onto the kind of game screen and things like that.
Yeah,
So that's
unfortunately.
that's
branching
exactly why I
structures and
don't
all
want to
sorts.
ninja fix little things.
Yeah, it's not only technical,
If
it's a
we're
lot
like-
of data entry.
yeah.
as well.
Yeah, and sort of like dependencies and all the rest of it if we want to do sorting and
Yeah. Like Recipe for Disaster ruins everything.
Yeah, I mean,
this sort of
we
thing.
get back to the howling Mobius strip of darkness.
Excellent. So thank you very much for talking about Nomad, which obviously is coming out next week. Get excited. It's really, really, really good. Really chuffed with it. And just a wee note that there's the NXT beta weekend on the 19th of February. So do get in for that. NXT obviously looking grand. And do join Mod Shawnee for JMod shenanigans, including Castle Wars and Chinese Dragon Fun. If you haven't seen the video, the Vine of Chinese Dragons doing the pillar remote, it's quite amazing. That's from 9 p.m. game time tonight. All right, so thank you very much, and goodbye from us.
Bye.
Bye.